Yes.
I really do. Now, is my thought, and this is just me, that in the first incarnation of those Batmans, the Tim Burton and then Joel Schumacher stuff, that if you strung them back to back to back to back to back, in my opinion, each hour gets progressively worse.
It's true. I was going to say, we don't talk about the Joel Schumacher stuff because that was complete crap.
Well, I mean, what I'm just saying, I think each hour gets progressively worse.
Yes.
Now, I'm also, and I really don't mean that. I mean, it's going to be tough because I'm not in anyone but the first one. But even the second hour of the first one's not as good as the first hour of the first one. It's good. It's okay. But the first hour of the first one's very good. Very, very, very good.
Yes.
And that's Tim Burton and the whole. Tim Burton is really special. He is a visionary. He is an artist. He gave me an incredible opportunity for which I am always going to be extremely grateful for. Michael, I had known forever because we were both stand-up comics when we first started. We knew each other then. Working with Jack Nicholson was, one of the great opportunities of my life.
Yeah.
So I mean, but as far as the Batmans, I thought, that then when Tim left, wow.
Yeah.
Joel was the wrong guy.
Yeah, totally.
But then again, Warner Brothers didn't have a clue. To be really honest with you, the one decision they made great is Tim Burton. And I don't know if, it was Peter Guber and John Peters who had the rights. And because when I asked them, I once asked, I might think it was John Peters, who would they have cast if they hadn't got? See, they were thinking entirely different. I got to tell you, they were thinking. I asked them who they wanted to go to if it wasn't going to be Michael Keaton, and they said either Bill Murray or Steve Martin. So you can understand where they were going.
Wow, that was two very weird choices.
So they were looking more comedically. They were thinking more like campy Batman Adam West shit. So
okay, yeah.
Tim Burton. It's all Tim Burton.
Yeah.
And Tim Burton is the visionary because he had worked with Michael on Beetlejuice. And Warner Brothers had done Beetlejuice with Tim and Michael, and it had been successful. Had that not happened, I don't think anything would. People forget, this was in the age before social media. I don't know, you weren't old enough to remember the shit that hit the fan back then when it was announced that Michael Keaton was playing Batman.
Really?
It was like it was like Mr. Mom is playing Batman. He was known for comedy.
Yep.
Now I knew Michael, and I've seen a movie of his called Clean and Sober, which is very dark, and he's a great actor. Michael's my favorite actor maybe out there. And I knew it, but the rest of the public did not. And in a world without social media, you still had a geek universe.
Yep.
It just wasn't as prevalent. So the backlash against Michael was so strong. It was unbelievable. And, of course, once he was in the suit, it didn't matter.
Yes.
But, and Michael is, just like I said, he's my favorite actor. And he's such a good actor. But people, I mean, think about Bill Murray. Think about, the list was Bill Murray, Steve Martin, Chevy Chase. They were going that way. So it's all Tim Burton.
Yeah. If they were going to go more on the campy Adam West, I could totally see why. I'm very glad that they brought Tim Burton and his very darkness into it because, as a Batman fan and someone, like, the Batman story was not colorful. It wasn't campy. It wasn't funny. It was a very dark, serious, and, if anything, very troubled story. So it was very interesting to choose Michael Keaton, and maybe because he was so versatile as an actor that even though as a comedian and as a funny man, that he could turn things around and make it such a dark, broody character, is why it was kind of such an iconic picture for me as being a youth when I saw the movie. And I remember seeing a lot of Michael Keaton's stuff back in the day and loving it. But of all his roles, and it's funny that you mentioned Beetlejuice because that was another one I really enjoyed, but him as Batman is still what stands out the most for me.
Well, and you got to remember, they were very concerned about the movie being dark. And I mean, actually, what's funny is, yes, it's darker. It was much darker than Adam West time, obviously, because that was really jokey, campy comedy. But they were concerned about that, and the theater owners were concerned about it, because of how dark it was. That being said, and again, it's generational, and again, it's post 9/11. The Dark Knight series is much darker.
Oh yeah,
it's much darker. The one thing and it's generational, as most things are. The one thing I always felt, this is now, and I'm speaking from an older generation too, is that even though the Tim Burton version is darker, it was also fun.
Yes,
it was fun. Jack was fun,
and
the Prince songs were fun. Jack was cracking jokes and doing all this stuff at the time. I was cracking jokes. There's no, to me, there's no fun in the Dark Knight series. None. It's just dark.
Yeah, it is very dark. It's grimy. I would have preferred if Keaton was playing Batman in that exact same movie or scenario. I think it would have been even better. But it's funny that you bring up the fun factor. Keaton
didn't add any of the comedy, though.
No, he didn't. And it was serious through the whole thing, which was beautiful. With the original series, I thought it was very funny to have Jack Nicholson as the Joker for it, because I mean he played a wonderful Joker, but when you say it was like all these jokes that are they're being cracked and the fun kind of things, he's more of a very serious comedian. When you look at him, he's a very kind of almost like a dark comedian, and which I think was a great choice for a Joker role, but. It's like when they bring his character in, this is where all of a sudden the bright colors start getting introduced, and he's putting paint everywhere and things are becoming very bright and colorful in his world. And I kind of feel like someone took, like when Schumacher made the next films, it's like they took all those bright colors and they started cramming it into the new movies, and it failed because it kind of took away from the doom and gloom of the original Batman.
I agree with you on the colors point, and about you. I don't know what the other point is. I don't quite get it, but I agree with you on the colors with Jack.
It just the other ones. You look at into the next movies. I mean,
it was darker. They were darker.
Yeah, the storyline was, but I mean progressively things started kind of, then when you get into Val Kilmer's Batman, it starts getting brighter, and then you get into George Clooney's, and that was just a colorful vomit fest.
I try not to remember any of those movies.
Yeah, I wish they went
really
from
one really
to the Dark Knight
series. Godfather 3. It's like Godfather 3.
It's true.
I try not to remember. Rob Reiner said it never happened.
And it probably shouldn't have.
Michael Jordan on the Wizards never happened.
Yep.
It's that kind of thing.
Yes. Now, so speaking of your character from Batman as Alexander Knox, then you have reprised that role just recently in Supergirl.
Yeah, it was fun. They asked me to do it as a cameo for one line, and I did it. Sure, I had a great time. It was one line.
Yes,
it was one shot.
You're sitting on the bench reading the
It
paper.
was fun. It was easy.
Yeah, it was very nice. It was just a really nice, tip of the hat. When they're trying to talk about to Batman and what was going on with Crisis on Infinite Earth. So I thought it was very, very nice. Now, putting Batman aside, I have to ask you about your role in American Dad.
American Dad. Okay.
In American Dad, yeah. So you did the evening with Robert Wuhl character. So you got to play yourself. Now I have to ask you, what was with the potato salad reference? Are you well known for?
I have no idea.
Okay, they just decided that you were going to do something crazy about potato salad.
I don't eat potato salad. I don't eat potato salad. I have no idea what it's about. I really don't. Except the only place I do eat potato salad is there's one place in Massachusetts. Big Y stores make the best potato salad in the world. That's the only time I ever eat potato salad. I know I don't like potato salad.
That's really funny.
It had nothing to do with me. They called me up. They asked me if I wanted to do it. I said, sure. It just looks like a fun show.
Yep.
And, so, I mean, that's as much as, I was just called in to do it. I got the script right then and there, and I did it, and it's kind of fun. And it's nice because you're touching a different generation. It's a whole different audience you're going to hit.
Yep.
And that's fun. And Seth is. I only met Seth once in a restaurant one time.
Oh, okay.
And he thanked me for doing it. I never met him. I only met him once, I think. Thanked
So
me for
you
doing
didn't
it, and that was that.
So you didn't even meet him, like, when it came to actually recording the episode. They just had you come in, you said your lines, they stitch it all together, and wow, that's
You go to a booth, you meet with a producer, you do it. I'm in and out of there in about half an hour.
Okay, that's crazy. Did you know that there's like several shirts out there that are acclaimed to Robert Wuhl? There are
what out there?
There are T-shirts out there. There's things that say like it's a Robert Wuhl thing. You wouldn't understand.
No, I don't know about it.
Okay, so clearly something you're not getting at.
Wait, so the T-shirt says it's a Robert Wuhl thing you wouldn't understand?
Yes.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
Yeah,
I guess
that's funny.
I don't know what it means. I don't know what they're referring to. I think
it's a tip to your type of humor when it comes to comedy.
Oh, well, that's kind of nice. If that's what it is, I appreciate that.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what it was.
Now, I will say the only thing I do know is I haven't received a penny.
I was going to say, well, clearly you're not getting any residuals from that.
But that's nice. I mean, I'm taking that as a positive. I hope it is.
Yes.
If it's not, I'll still take it as a positive.
I'm pretty sure that is made by a fan who's clearly a Robert Wuhl fan.
That's very nice of him. I'd like to tell you, you're out there listening. Thank you.
You should look it up. It's a very simple shirt, but I got to tell you, I imagine they're doing quite well. Maybe I actually didn't look at the date of when the person was creating these, but maybe it coincided with the American Dad show. So, I mean, not to. So,
yeah, I'm seeing it now on online. It's a Robert Wuhl thing you wouldn't understand. How cool is that?
Right?
How cool is that?
You could reach out, say thank you. You could send the checks to here.
I don't know. I guess you can buy a T-shirt.
Yeah.
I guess.
Yep.
I mean, the other ones say, keep calm, I'm a nurse. Okay, not that calm. I like that.
Yep.
All I need is coffee and mascara. I don't always drink beer. Oh, well, yes, I do. That's kind of nice. These are clever. Good. That's very nice. Look at that. Isn't that nice? Thank you. So, see, I'm thrilled about that. And thank you for bringing that to my attention. That's what I'll take with me today. Yeah, I'm really feeling good. Big smile.
Look at that. You're getting your own T-shirts made. That's a nice thing for people in life.
804 followers.
Yeah.
Now following T-shirt. I guess. I don't know. That's kind of cool. I think it's the first I've ever heard of it. That's very cool.
You know, if you gave him a thumbs up or a follow, it would totally blow that guy's mind. So,
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Now, did you actually get to see the final cut of American Dad when they were done with everything?
No.
so
I've
you
never
don't.
Seen it.
So you don't know that.
I've never seen it. I've never seen it.
So you don't know that they have you on the toilet eating potato salad.
I've never seen it.
You should.
It's funny.
It is absolutely hilarious.
Why put myself through watching myself? It's bad. It's bad enough others have to do it.
Honestly, it is absolutely hilarious, and it was funny because when I had mentioned to people that you were going to be on the show, it was the first thing that I think the first 6 or 7 people had mentioned was, have you seen him on American Dad? It was absolutely hilarious, and when I watched the clip, I literally had tears coming to my eyes. It was absolutely hilarious.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, so it was such an amazing job. It really goes to show, I really tip my hat to actors such as yourself who can have such an amazing sense of humor about yourselves when they do these things. It's kind of neat to know that you don't even get to see the final product, so you don't know what it's done. But it's like American Dad and Family Guy in particular. You get people like Adam West or you get Patrick Stewart on the show, and they're doing these characters, and you truly almost have to have a sense of humor to be able to do some of these lines, especially because this big cartoon light that they put you in. They could either make you look absolutely hilarious or absolutely crazy, all on how the cartoon is drawn. And for your character, the way they did it, it was almost a little balance of both. But it is so wonderfully done because they've got you running down the street with your pants basically around your ankles, chasing people. And it's really funny. You really should check it out.
Well, sure, but you know what? I don't want to watch. I like the